All right, we continue with that leading story for tonight and more on the minister's visit to Stilfontein. We're now joined by crime expert and UJ research associate Calvin Rafadi, and he joins us now via our video link. Calvin, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. Now, today we saw the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, returning for a second time to Stilfontein to try and find solutions to the country's problems when it comes to illegal mining and zamazamas at that particular mine. Maybe just take us through, your thoughts when it comes to him returning and having an engagement with the community.
Yeah, good evening and good evening to your viewers. Yeah, indeed, that was a good move because of, situations like this. You need to constantly go on the ground and engage with the community members, especially also with the officials that are hard at work as they trying to, negotiate this particular criminals, let's call them, to come out of their hiding spot. But, what a take home for us is that he said that the threat analysis was done even as far as last year. They knew about such situation, and as he was comparing it to even other countries. And, what we can say is we do remember the time when, I think in Kumo, which is the same area there in Klerksdorp, where I think around April, someone was arrested, an illegal foreigner, with a hand grenade. So it shows that those type of, hand grenades and ammunitions, it's only for military use. And indeed, these people, it shows that they are well armed and they do know what they are doing and they mean business.
And Calvin, the conversation really over the past couple of days and weeks when it comes to the issues facing Stilfontein mine continues. Who is behind what we are seeing in terms of this big syndicate that operates underground?
Yeah, well, there are big fishes. Those that we see, coming out, we can see that there's even young kids that are recruited and skill is being transferred. But what we can say, we realize something, some of us, we did a groundwork, I think as far as 3 years back, especially in terms of open cast mining in the northwest area and around Bakersford. And what we realized that some of these big fishes, they are indeed in cahoot with some officials in DMR and DMRE. There hasn't been, there's a council a council for geoscience, where one can easily obtain a map of where the belt of a particular minerals one can mine, especially when you want to apply for prospecting license and the likes. But we realize that some of those rotten officials, they actually give these big fishes a memory stick that contains where the belt is. And these people, they don't just do randomly mining, but they do know what they are looking for. And that's why they've got all the equipments that are necessary needed to do those type of mines.
And of course, this has allowed, this illegal activity to continue to thrive in our country and in the various communities which are affected.
Yes, indeed. But also we can't shy away, but to say also that some of the community members, they do benefit. They are aiding and abetting for that matter. They are the ones who, they will buy certain goods, sell it to some of those guys underground. And those particular guys, what they normally do is the very same goods, they've got their own tuck shop inside those shafts. So who enables these people? It is some of the community members, and even some of this product after being mined, they send it to the top and they're hiring rooms at the back of some of those community members. But at the moment, we want all of them to be out of those shafts. But also, again, we want to kindly urge our police to say, let them not forget that the dead bodies that are being found underneath, some of those big fishes, they need to be charged for that matter, for the murder. Because of those that passed on, it is the accused of those big fishes. And once they are found, especially with those guns, they equally need to be charged for all the bodies that will be found dead in those particular shafts.
And Calvin, I mean, we saw the minister even calling out to the community members in which you speak of, especially those who have been aiding some of these illegal miners. And one would say, what options does government have in terms of trying to curb and stop, illegal mining from taking place in this country, particularly now when it's been escalated to this operation of Valumkoti?
I think since they've done the threat analysis and then they've got an operation called Valumkoti, and it's somehow yielding results. I think it needs to be strengthened. More resources need to be pumped in, and we should, get these criminals out of those shafts. And even on some of the areas, like in Katlaganyane and Rustenburg, there are some who are into open cast mining. Around Joburg, there are many, around areas where the minister has mentioned. But at the same time, we realize that also the minister highlighted that there are cell phones that are being used underground. Now, those photos that are being taken, they are sent to big buyers to show them that these are the products that we are busy mining or we have mined. So they'll normally send a photo, then they'll have a date on that photo or those videos. So it enables the police now to check also the communication between the big fishes and those guys that are having those pictures and those cell phones. So we need to go after the big fishes. Let us follow the money. Let those photos help us now to retrieve of who are the recipient of those sent photos and videos.
And the minister and government has basically been leading this operation to try and retrieve as many miners as possible who do find themselves underground. I mean, this has been done in various stages, and it seems as if we may now be on stage 3. But what's the possibility of us seeing these miners resurfaced if we've seen those who have come from the inside saying that some have been intimidated from getting out of this mine shaft?
Yeah, I guess those who are bold enough, they find their way coming up. And we had some of those youngsters when they said, they were only surviving on drinking water mixed with sugar and vinegar and the likes. And the issue of the maheu that are being sent down, there's issues that the big fishes or those who are intimidating them, they even resell the products that even, we are trying to aid those people so that they can get strength to come out. But what we can say is that let them come out as many as possible, and let the shafts or the lifts be sent down to those shafts so that we can retrieve as many as possible. But we still say those with guns underground, they need to be charged with the murder of their accused.
All right, Calvin, thank you so much for your time and for that insight. That is Calvin Rafadi. He is a crime expert from UJ. He's also a research associate, just giving us an insight there when it comes to the minister's visit to Stilfontein, of course, marking his second visit to that community facing illegal miners.